This video content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. For anything specific to your needs or circumstances, please get in contact with us directly. G'day everyone, it's Heath from You&Me Personalised Property Services here with Matt from Capital Finance, and we're getting chatty with Matty. Today we're going to have a chat about self-managed super fund, what it is, how you can use it to your advantage, and what fees are used within that SMSF. So, Matt, thanks for joining us again.
No worries, thanks, Heath.
No worries. And we'll go straight into it, and we'll talk about self-managed super fund, what it is, how easy is it to set up, and what sort of fees are involved, and what it actually means with buying property from your SMSF.
Sure. So your self-managed super fund is effectively when you become the fund manager for your super. So right now, everybody that doesn't have an SMSF is outsourcing the management of their super fund to Australian Super, GESB, all these fund managers to look after their superannuation for them. The SMSF effectively takes the control back into your hands and allows you to then invest that money however you see fit.
So that obviously can be shares, and in this case, because we're here, property.
That's right. So this is where your services come in, and where we advise in terms of the loan to purchase property inside your self-managed super fund. You utilize the cash that you have there to make your down payment, very similar to how you would outside of your self-managed super fund. This just allows you to access the effectively tax-free money that's sitting in your SMSF that could be utilized to purchase an investment property.
Yeah, and I guess why would someone want to do that? So let's, going to a plain and simple example, you have $400,000 or $500,000 sitting in your SMSF. You pull that money or draw the loan on that SMSF, and effectively you're paying cash to the seller through the SMSF. Now, in 20, 30, 40 years' time, when you decide that property has risen in value enough, what happens is you're selling that property that was worth $400,000 or $500,000 for $1 million now, and that money comes back in to your SMSF, so your self-managed super fund, and instead of someone else managing it and potentially not getting that money back in, you've raised $600,000 for your SMSF for retirement.
That's pretty much it. And we can't forget about the rent along the way. So all the rental payments are going into your SMSF. Come retirement, the capital gain and all of the rent along the way, all of that then becomes tax-free once you're then able to access it out of your during your retirement.
Which is what age now?
65.
65, cool. So you can access that at 65. So you buy something at 40 years old, you let it grow essentially and inflate over 25 years, you sell it back to someone and it goes into your self-managed super fund.
Yeah, one of the main benefits as well is if you happen to be a self-employed applicant, I suppose, you can actually purchase the property that you're operating your business on or move into a property and operate and then pay the SMSF, which holds the property. So your company will pay rent to the SMSF.
Which you own the SMSF.
Correct.
So you're essentially paying yourself rent because your SMSF owns that building.
That's right.
Cool. Lovely. No worries at all. Now, that sounds convoluted. Is it easy to set up? And what are some of the fees involved? So
a self-managed super fund has a lot of regulations. Like I mentioned before, you are a super fund manager effectively. So there's a lot of compliance, a lot of obligations. It's important to get the proper advice around how to set it up, and there is fees and costs involved, as you mentioned. So there are a few entities. So you're going to have the managed fund itself. You'll have a corporate trust, which will be the corporate trustee, the bear trust, and there's a few other sort of different entities that need to be set up in order to make this whole sort of system work. That will be best, I suppose, set up and explained by your accountant. So it needs to be part of a more holistic strategy. And the idea is that what you're doing is working for you, and that all the costs involved in setting it up are still going to allow it to be beneficial.
Yeah, cool. And is there any personal costs involved? So let's say I want to buy a property. I've got $400,000 in my super. Is there any personal cost to me, not my super fund, to me, in regards to setting that up or along the way?
Yeah, so whether accountants' fees can be paid out of your self-managed super fund is definitely a question for the accountant.
Cool. So again, it's all a bit muddy waters for a lot of us.
Yeah.
But who would they see to be able to set that up and to run the advice for that?
So definitely an accountant.
Accountant.
Is who you want to be seeing to get that set up. You can also
Financial advisor?
Would potentially refer you out to an accountant to actually get it set up.
Okay.
So they would give you the advice to say this is what we think we're going to be doing. If they're licensed to give to set up a self-managed super fund, then they may be able to do that as well. The setup side is typically an accountant. The advice side is typically the financial planner, and a lawyer would get involved potentially for the trust. So a few different areas people to see, but the financial planner should typically be your central point for that sort of advice.
Lovely. No drama. So guys, there you have it. There's a bit of information on self-managed super fund. We are getting a lot of it come through these days due to the fact that people are using their money, but their super fund money to purchase property, and they don't have to have their own money to do it. So if you want any information at all about property, about self-managed super fund, or if you want to talk to Matt about getting money yourself, come and see him. It's Matt from Capital Finance. And until next time, as always, happy investing.